Hello students, in today's video lesson, we shall be doing formal letter writing. Before we begin, let us start by revising what we have done in earlier classes. A letter is a written communication sent by one person to another. It concerns a matter of common interest or any other issue which needs to be addressed. Letter writing dates back to the ancient times, to thousands of years ago when people hardly had any other means of communication. A few remaining letters from the olden days suggest that letter writing was in practice in ancient Egypt, Sumer, Rome, Greece, China, and India. In the recent times, despite the prevalence of emails and text messages, letter writing has not completely gone out of use. You still need to write letters of complaint, job applications, thank you letters, letters to government or civic authorities. The list just goes on. Now, letters primarily comprise of two types: formal letters, informal letters. In this video lesson, we shall be discussing formal letters. Formal letters are written for official purposes. They are written in a particular format and deal in official subjects such as inquiry, ordering, booking, complaint, apology, and such other matters. Such letters should never sound too personal or too intimate, and the basic framework should be formal, crisp, and to the point. Certain points that we should keep in mind while writing a formal letter are: formal letters should be brief and to the point. Avoid showcasing creativity or imagination in such letters. Mention all the necessary details regarding the subject matter so that the reader knows exactly what you want. A business-like, formal tone should be maintained throughout the letter. The language used should be formal, polite, yet firm. Formal letters are usually written to someone you're not acquainted with and hence creates a first-time impression for you in the recipient's mind. Formal letters can be of the following types: letter to the editor, letter of complaint, letter of congratulations, letter of condolence, letter of thanks, others. Now, we shall discuss one formal letter closely. Let us take an example. You have skipped your half-yearly exams due to illness. Write a letter to your school principal requesting a second chance to appear in the examination. Now, as we can see, a formal letter, a letter to the principal in such case, has different parts which are explained below. Date. The date on which the letter is being written has to be mentioned. Let us take a date, say 24th April 2018. Leave a blank line after the date. Receiver's address. The position of the concerned authority and the name of the school is mentioned along with the address. The principal, Aryan Public School, Paschim Vihar, New Delhi. Usually, all the formal letters start with the sender's address, followed by date, and then the receiver's address. However, there are exceptions to this, like in the letter to the principal. In this case, the student is identified as a part of the school, so the sender's address is not mentioned separately. The letter starts with the address of the school, followed by the date. Next, we have the subject line. The subject speaks about the topic or issue addressed in the letter. Subject: request for a second chance to appear for the half-yearly exam. Remember, an appropriate subject line is a requirement for a formal letter. Next comes the salutation. It is the word used by the writer to greet or address the recipient of the letter. For example, Madam. Keep in mind, a gentleman should be addressed as Mr., a married woman as Mrs., and an unmarried woman as Miss. However, in recent times, it is the modern practice to write Miss before the name of a woman, irrespective of her marital status. Particularly in the Indian way of speaking, Sir, Shri or Sri is used before the name of a gentleman, and Srimati, Shrimati or Shrimati before the name of a woman. In case of purely formal letters, you can write Sir or Madam. Dear Sir or Dear Madam can be used where the recipient is not an absolute stranger. In some cases, it might happen that you are not really aware of the name of the person to whom you are writing the formal letter. Here, you should put the salutation as only Madam or Sir, Dear Madam or Dear Sir. Please remember to put only a comma and not any other sign such as an exclamation after the salutation. Body. Next, we come to the body of the letter. In this portion, the actual message of the letter is written. Let us begin with it. This letter is to inform you that due to critical illness last week, I missed out on the half-yearly examinations. Starting the day of the exams, I had severe temperature and was hospitalized after being detected with dengue. My parents had already submitted a leave request mentioning the reason. Now I am better and I got a release from the nursing home yesterday. Now we move on to a new paragraph. I am worried about missing out on the exams and sincerely request you to grant me another chance to appear for the same. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me to compete with others in the annual examination and score the best of marks. Start a new paragraph again, expecting kind cooperation at your end. After the body of the letter, leave a blank line. Then we have the complimentary closing. You need to end the letter with a closing note like thank you, yours truly, yours faithfully, or yours sincerely. This part can also be referred to as the subscription. Please remember not to use an apostrophe in yours in the subscription, as it should be written only as yours. Next, we have the sender's name. The name of the sender comes after the complimentary closing at the very end of the letter. This is all for today. We will cover the remaining part of the lesson in our next video. Now, your complete letter should look like this.